Did you know that fewer people are coming to the Dominican Republic, even though it's one of the most beautiful islands in the world? Tourism has really slowed down here. Today I'm going to break it down to you why that's happening and why it might possibly get worse. Give you some facts as to why tourism is slowing down here, and I'm really going to break it down and why it might possibly get worse. So it's something that we have to deal with, and I'm going to give you the facts. I'm not going to hold anything back. It's clean. And I'm coming to you from the beautiful Dominican Republic. I live in Puerto Plata. And Puerto Plata, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be in Dominican Republic. But today's video really isn't about the beauty and the lifestyle here of living in what people call paradise. It's about some real hard facts and how it might affect, well, it will affect the Dominican's economy. So let's get right into it. It makes up about 15% of Dominican Republic's GDP. It contributes to the livelihood of a lot of locals that live here, from hotels, drivers, bus drivers, resorts, you name it, it makes up quite a bit of Dominican Republic's GDP. So it is an essential part of the economy here. And if it starts to slow down and people are not visiting anymore, it's going to cause a ripple effect. And believe me, that ripple effect could be devastating for the economy. Some towns that used to be bustling with tourism have seen the amount of tourists coming in slow down. Restaurants are not full. Hotels are not booked. Flights are being canceled. So something is really going on, and we need to find out what it is. But I can tell you already what it is. It's been a few major events that have happened recently. I've been living here since 2018. I've been coming back and forth, and for those of you who've just joined my channel, I'm a registered nurse. I'm semi-retired. I've been in Dominican Republic now since 2018, and I have been going back and forth. I still have my license. I still work every now and again, but for the most part, I'm here. I'm recently married to a Dominican, and we've been married this year. It's going to be 2 years together as man and wife, and 1 year dating. So total of 3 very happy years. I'm cooking, which is something I don't normally do, so bear with me. I am not really cooking. I would say I'm putting things in the air fryer because it's really quick, and I'm making me a sandwich regardless of cooking. So it's part of my soft life here in the yard. Now let's get into it. Why does tourism matter? Now I'm going to give it to you, and I wrote it down so I don't forget because I want to make sure I give you all the statistics. Here are 3 reasons why tourism is everything to the Dominican Republic, okay? Number 1, it is a job machine. Over 500,000 people work directly in tourism here. That's a whole lot of families. Depending on those tourist dollars, they really depend on it. So when things start to go south, we will see a ripple effect. Number 2, it pays the bills. Tourism brings in billions of dollars, not million, billions of dollars each year, around 15% of the entire Dominican economy. Number 3, it supports small businesses, from souvenir shops, and I'm in Puerto Plata, and we now have the cruise lines coming back in, and you see them come in, and it's at Amber Cove where they dock, and then they have these tour buses that will pick them up, and they'll go on different excursions for the day or however long they go on the excursions for. So there's a lot of souvenir shops down there near it's like the center of town. So they depend on that for their livelihood. You have the drivers, the taxis will line up, the tour bus drivers will line up. So everything is all interconnected. Okay, so from souvenir shops to fruit vendors, even grandma's empanada. And that's so true because I have pretended to be Ricardo and I. Sometimes we pretend to be tourists and we'll go down there and we'll, enjoy the tourist lifestyle for a couple of hours. And we'll see them coming in. We'll even have conversations with them. So, they all depend on that foot traffic, right? So, Puerto Plata has Sosua, it has a couple of really nice beaches. So I would consider it a beach town. It's on the north coast. Santo Domingo is the capital, and Santiago, it's a little different. It's more, internal. So a lot of Dominicans come from the other side of the island over to the north coast, especially on weekends. You'll see the buses come in and they're at Sosua Beach, and it's, it's, I'm telling you, it's like a trickle down effect because they work, they get paid, they rent the Airbnbs, they come down, they rent the buses, they come on the weekends, and they enjoy the North Coast. Again, 3 stats that might shock you. tourist arrival went down. It went down almost 10%. In the last quarter, compared to the same time last year, it was down. And I can attest to that because I live here, so I can see the difference. I believe they said we had about 11 to 12 million tourists last year, so it has taken a dip. Bookings are down, Airbnbs are down. A lot of people have invested here in homes, whether it's condo homes, whatever, and they've jumped on the Airbnb bandwagon. And some of those Airbnbs are not really being filled, and sometimes they only get it on the weekend. Now we're going into Semana Santa, so they'll pick up a bit, but it's going to be mostly local, and it might be only for a couple of days. Although they've been adding more flights, I know they have an airline now called Arajet, which has added some flights. They've added more flights from other cities, but flights have actually gone down. These flights that's coming in from the other cities are like direct flights into DR, because if you're coming from, say, New York, you can get a direct flight. When I lived in Fort Lauderdale, so I could get a direct flight on JetBlue. Most of the airlines that fly out of Fort Lauderdale or even Miami could get a direct flight. But if I were coming from Atlanta, which I was living for a while, I had to stop in Fort Lauderdale or Orlando. Or I think I've even changed in New Jersey at one time, which was a horrible experience. So flights are down. Even though there's more airlines adding direct flights, the actual flights are down. Let's break it down into two major reasons why. Well, I wouldn't say two. I would say maybe four. Why there has been a slowdown. And we know it's safety. And because of the recent incident with the young lady that went missing in Punta Cana, it was a worldwide media frenzy. And her remains still hasn't been found. So, it still is a mystery, more or less, what happened. We still don't know. So, sometimes the media reports very negatively. And I've noticed that a lot of times when there's something going on with Dominican Republic, if it's a specific incident, mainly an isolated incident, they seem to just throw the whole country into it. It's like everything is bad about Dominican Republic. If somebody did something that caused them to have an unfortunate result, it's the entire country, which makes no sense to me. I just will never ever get that. Sometimes I wonder if it's not like planned. If it's not like neighboring competed islands that are not getting the amount of, travelers like DR does. I don't know, but I can really hoping this sandwich comes out good because, like I said, I'm not a cook. I don't even like using these kind of knives. I'm just scared of it. I drink tea like all day. I've actually been trying to wean myself off of tea because I drink too much, and sometimes it makes me a little bit, giddy, like almost like a coffee drinker, So I'm trying to wean myself off of tea, but you don't drink it. It still has caffeine, and when you don't drink it, you do get the headache, which I did the other day. But it's getting better. Let me give you the other statistics. The other one, number 2, is the high price of everything overseas. And we from the U.S., we know because we got family there, and we still go back and forth, so we know what things are like over there. So yeah, the high price of everything over there. Now we had the tariff wars, which today. It seems like there's a sort of a pause on it, and it's only at 10%. Now, DR had gotten a 10% tariff tacked on by the Trump administration, and I think it was 74 or 75 nations had decided to come to the bargaining table. They didn't retaliate like China. China went up to 84, and I think Trump backed them up now to 125 or something. My numbers might be off a little bit, but they're duking it out, and China says they're not backing down. So we get a lot of stuff. We have a lot of things made in China. I mean, China makes everything. So the other 74 countries, he put a pause on it. They're working together, and so is Mexico and Canada, and China is an outlier. So that has contributed a lot to what's going on here. Because, like they say, if America sneezes, the earth catches a cold. It's crazy. I've heard that since I've been here. Natural disasters has contributed. I know Florida, they had a huge hurricane last year. They had a huge hurricane also in North Carolina. So there's been a lot of natural disasters. They had the fires in California. They had flooding. They've had so much, going on overseas. And people just are holding on to their money. Now, a lot of people, the federal workers, I forget it was like 16,000 got laid off their jobs. I used to go back to work. And I get a ticket on JetBlue for $200. It's no big deal. So an hour and a half. I don't mind the discomfort. It's not your luxury airline. And I would jump on a plane and get there and go to work for a couple days and then I'll come back. The last time I was checking, it was like, not even JetBlue, it was Spirit. It was like $400 and some dollars out of Santiago, which makes no sense to me either. From the other islands, not just islands, but Latin American countries. Colombia is stepping up their game. A lot of people go to Colombia, especially the guys. They love to go to Medellin and Cartagena and Cali and those places. And it's, from what I understand, I've never been there, it's pretty cheap to live over there too. Yes, there's a lot of safety issues, but it's pretty cheap. Canada and Mexico. Mexico also supplies, makes a lot of goods that the U.S. buys. They've been trade partners for a long time. My favorite tea, this is Twins Earl English breakfast. And I lived in England for a while, and I'm also from Jamaica, which was under British rule for a long time. So we kind of like our tea, and I'm definitely trying to wean myself off of tea. So this is going to be my second cup for the day, and I'm just dipping it and taking it out. I also use Splenda stevia. Stevia. I don't use sugar. I use honey on occasion, but 2 of these and it's sweet enough. Now, when the locals start feeling it at the level where they start getting their hours cut from work. Some people might lose jobs. The tour guides, the tour buses sit around, empty. The communities really start to feel it. And it does affect the economy because the schools that would benefit from the tourism dollars are allocated towards education, school funding schools are a lot less. It's hot. And of course, streets aren't maintained, roads aren't maintained. You see those big old, it's bad enough they have the potholes already. And, when they don't have the money in the budget to maintain things like they should, the roads are affected. They don't get maintained. The buildings aren't maintained like they should. So it affects the locals tremendously. So we're going to go into what can be done. And I don't want to be eating on camera, but I'm super hungry and I really wanted to make this video. So what can be done? There are 3 things that could help turn this around. Improve safety and public image. All right. I've complained here myself about the safety issue. I have driven one time and I don't. I used to drive in the States all the time because I drove for my job. I did home health nursing and hospice. My job involved me going to different homes, hospitals, nursing homes all day long. So I was in my car like more than 10 hours a day. I haven't driven here, mainly because the roads leave a lot to be desired, especially over this side of town. The motor conscious, I just cannot get with them because there is no rule of law for them. You could be driving, you think you're going to make a right turn, you put your signal on, they're in your what you call it, your blind spot. You can't see them. Sometimes they run up into your back. They cross over, they just go zoom, and they cross right across the street. It's crazy. So we need better press coverage. We need press that's a little bit more friendly towards DR. I don't know why they're so unfriendly, especially from the States. I just don't know why. That would help. We can support ecotourism and cultural travel. And people want authentic. I was buying some land, and the lady that was the lawyer that was in charge of the sale of the land, she got her commission in land. It was from the Brugal family. And she actually turned her piece of land into a eco lodge, which was quite interesting. I never stayed over, but you can spend the night. They have the cute little cottages and everything is, outdoors. They cook outside. It's really cute. So if you're into that, that could be something that could be done. There's the locals here love to go to rivers. We are used to beaches. I still don't feel comfortable going to the rivers. Like, I go to the river, but I don't go in. Because, again, too, I'm from an island, but I can't swim. I do go to the local markets. I do support the local, the farmers when they bring their goods in. I'll buy the stuff off the back of the trucks. I'll go to the market downtown. We buy most of our fruits, vegetables, and things like that from there. The only thing I buy from the supermarkets is like, places, especially Jumbo, is things that I like from the States that Jumbo carries. But I try to support the locals as much as I can. Empower the locals to build businesses. Now, that's a tall order. And there are locals that have businesses. My son lives here and he has a business. He's had a business now for 4 years. And the hardest thing for him to find is good help. He goes through employees like crazy. Like, they won't show up. They'll work 2 days and they'll call and somebody's sick, somebody's in the hospital. It's always something. He's constantly advertising for help. And I had a business here. I had two, actually three. I was lucky the last one I found like really good people, but you can go through a few people and you don't want to seem mean, but you're running a business and you have to pay them whether you make money or not. So sometimes it might come off as being harsh or uncaring, but it's a business. A business is a business, not a friendship. Sorry. So the thing is to try to help the locals diversify their income outside of tourism. And I don't think everybody here depends on tourism, because especially in Sasua and those places, those girls are, well, in a way they depend on tourism because the guys are tourists. But as far as like they do their hair, they do their nails, they buy clothes, that's not dependent on tourism. So, but like I said, everything is it's really, really interconnected. So, you can't talk about one without the other. I'm not going to say the sky is falling. It's not all doom and gloom, but come and visit DR. We would love to have you. I've been here and I cannot say I have any regrets. I would encourage anybody to try living in another country, whether it be DR or anywhere else that you deem is the perfect place for you. Although there may not be such a thing as the perfect place, but the place that you feel that you can find some joy, that you can find peace. The money is great in, the first world countries. And now that's even drying up because we see what's going on in the economy. There's a lot going on. So your money will go very far here. The US dollar has gone up significantly. So you're going to get more bang for your buck. So that's always a plus. So come on over. Come and visit DR. It's a friendly country. The people are friendly. They were called like the happiest people in the world. Yes, there's some problems like anywhere else, but I know, as far as I'm concerned, you'll have a great time. You come over here, you enjoy your stay, and you go back home rested. Or whether you want to take a long vacation, a sabbatical, or you just want to get away for a weekend, come on over to DR. Okay? So again, I'm going to ask you to like this video, share it, and subscribe, because there's something called an algorithm, and the more shares, the more shares, not even the subscriptions, the more shares, it goes out to more people, and I can share this content with more people. I'm not doing this for clicks and views. I actually love what I'm doing. So I'm going to ask you again nicely to subscribe to my channel if you get value. Okay? And I'll see you